So welcome back to the next episode of the Jetta. We're going to pull the seats out today and see what treasure we can find underneath. And if you can, click the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. Well, the seats are out. We didn't really find any treasure apart from the type, which means more work. Great. Holy moly, we found a hole. Not just one, we found another one. So they're going to need to cut out, new plates welded in, seam sealed, all that good stuff. So as we can see, all the seats are out, and it leaves us with this horrible stuff. Now this is the sound deadened factory stuff, but it causes those rusty holes. And this is sopping wet, as you can see. So as I pull that out, it's just falling to pieces. That's going in the bin. And because that's wet and has sat there for ages, oh, monies, it causes this rust. Now those are little plates that sit in the car, but obviously it doesn't help them with wet underlay sitting on them, makes them rust out. So they're going to have to be opened out, plated, welded, seam sealed, etc. Front don't look too bad, but I guarantee the other side is just the same. Here we go, more mess and wet underlay. And the same point there is quite soft. If we give it a little pick like a scab, plop, there we go, same detail. It's not as big, so we'll see what we can do with that, but again, it'll have to be covered up and cleaned. So that's one reason to check your underlay. If you're getting damp inside the car on the windows and stuff, 9 times out of 10 you're going to have wet underlay that's causing rot. What is this? That looks like seam seal had been put through the hole. That's the bung that should be in there. That is just pure cowboy. Right, ready? Watch this. Look at that. That's disgusting. That's 20 odd years of God knows what. I don't need to explain what that looks like. This is the way I like cleaning these carpets. So they are plastic moulded, really. So they're very easy to pressure wash. You know, you can see it there. Horrible. Simple pressure washer. Give it a good pressure wash off and leave it in the sun. Let it dry, and it looks lovely now. But look at it. You can see there a complete change of colour to a lighter grey. All that dirt coming off in the bubbles. Now the seats and stuff are drying, we can get on with our spoiler. And as we don't want it to stay gold, it needs painting. So we're doing 320 grit sandpaper over all of it, and then using a bit of Scotch-Brite after to get in the nooks and crannies, because sandpaper will get most of your stuff off when you've got all these edges like this and the bits on top of there, etc. Scotch-Brite is very good for getting inside there, and it leaves a good enough key to get paint on. We're going to etch prime it anyway. Etch prime is the best paint I like using because it's got the acid inside it. Really gives good adhesion to all the paint. So I'm going to finish off sanding that and then get some etch prime on it. One thing you don't want to do is when you're doing a spoiler, this is obviously your importance side really, because it's got to get most looks on or views on what you're going to see the most. And obviously this has had a poor prep before, but when you sand it down, like I've done a bit here, this little bit here, it's still got a tiny bit of raised bit just there. So you just want to rub that down, pay more attention to little bits like that than the overall. You can sand it all down, get to one level, but if you haven't paid attention to tiny little bits like that, as soon as you get paint, primer and clear coat on it, that will stand out like a sore thumb. So just pay attention to little bits like that. So once we finish all the sanding, just used a clean microfiber cloth because they're quite good as a tack cloth, which just gets all the little bits of impurities and dust off there, because being a microfiber it's got lots of little holes, and all the lots of little dust off there gets stuck in these little holes. So here we are, just going to get it sprayed up, underside first. And what we're using is the good old favourite U-Pol Power Can Etch Primer. Good stuff this is. Power Can, I think it's just a higher pressure in a can, and you've got this little nozzle, so it comes out as a spray fan. So instead of a mess coming out, it comes out as like a more of a fan coming out, so you can get an even spray, but you'll see when I spray it anyway. As normal, give the can a good shake and get some primer on it. Obviously the car is covered this time, because last time I sprayed in here, got dust all over my beautiful car. So let's get on with this. So what I like to do is build up dusting coat. What I like to get really good adhesion, because if you put too much paint on, the paint can't actually do its work. So see, it's quite dappled at the moment, and I'm just going over the edges in there just to make sure all the nooks and crannies have got as much paint on as possible, so when you come to put your final sort of thicker coat of primer on, the areas that are hard to get paint on have already got paint on. That'll probably do for now. We'll leave that to dry. Use a well ventilated area. Anyway, yeah, so that's see certain parts are drying already. Little points up there. So yeah, we'll leave that to dry. Again, you don't want to get loads on it. You want a good adhesion for the paint, because anyone can chuck paint on something. If you're not prepping it right, it's not going to stay on there. So we'll leave that, and we'll see that in the morning. Well, it's the next morning, the paint's dried lovely, so what we've just done is put a nice thicker coat of paint on, primer on even. We'll let that dry. Once that's dry, we'll then flip the spoiler over and do the same on the top side, and then once that's dry, we can start getting some paint on. Once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.